Hey everybody, Eric Dorward here at the Spartan Rocketry Club, continuing our build of the Estes Pro Series version of the Nike Smoke. It is time to continue to build this motor mount, which has proven to be somewhat of an irritant because the centering rings, which are nice and strong, plywood, are not as tailor cut as one might hope. So they just don't stay where they are supposed to. It took a while and some careful planning to allow this to set up. This first build that I put in last time, which is supposed to be at 3¼ inches, so that's done. But this has been a slow go. By the way, the fins, they are all set. I finished the rest of them. One of them I had a slight issue with getting exactly this one where it was supposed to be. And I didn't, or there was that bump in the middle. I apparently didn't line it up quite right. It is off by like a 1/16 of an inch, but it fit together, and it should eventually, fit in here without any particular issues. I am going to have to check this and perhaps sand it or even shave it down a little bit so that it fits. I should really probably do that with all of these, like right now, because they don't seem to fit very well. So that's an interesting conundrum. That one at least makes it in there. So anyway, they're going to all fit through the fin like this. Oh, that is snug. So some of these are great. Some of them are maybe not so great. All right, well, those fit at least. This was the trouble one, I think. Yeah. And yeah, it fits, but it's just not a great fit. So that might have to get, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to sand in here or sand maybe the plastic part, but we'll see. Anyway, they're supposed to interlock, and yeah, it's going to be a rough fit. So we'll have to come back to that. Anyway, continuing this though, in the intervening time, I put the beginnings of the next one on, and if I were to go back and do this again, here's how I would do it. I would take my green spacer here and I would slide it up basically to the line that I wanted, and I would tack one side of it in place and then just have it sitting on this. I would take that approach because it was really hard to get it to stay. I don't think I would attempt to glue on the line because I'm going to reinforce it with something stronger than wood glue anyway. But it was just such a pain. So I attempted that. I gave that a try. This is the bottom end of the motor mount. So I slid on the what is essentially a spacer here. And I say that and I can't seem to get it back on. That's fun. What did I do? Anyway. Anyway, so I slid this on, I got it right to the end. I actually put the ring on first. I'm going to show you how I did it again later. And then I tacked in just this side. So there's nothing on the underside here at all. It is just raw wood. That I'm actually not going to tack anything into at all because this is the bottom part of the motor mount. I need this, the engine retainer, to fit in there flush. And it looks like, and there's a little bit of space in there, but I really don't want to mess with that. I want this to fit in and have the entire space that is available to it. So I might put an epoxy fillet around this, but I'm probably not going to because I really don't want this to not fit. So anyway. This is as good as it's going to get right now, so I'm going to repeat the process. So I already put on the second, or the final ring like this. It doesn't fit very well, as discussed. Now I'm going to put the spacer on. This is actually going to be the permanent home of the spacer, so I can glue it in place here if I really, really want to. I might. We'll come back to that. But right now it is just spacing so that I can have the motor mount here, or the motor mount's ring anyway, just kind of lying flat. Now it's not, it's not stable. So issue that I ran into is when I put the glue on in the other ring, I ended up kind of depressing, move move it so you can see it. I ended up depressing one side of this, so the other side kind of popped up in the air. That didn't really matter. I put a decent amount of glue and then I smoothed it out with my finger anyway, so it didn't really make much of a difference. I'm going to try to be a little bit lighter as I do this, so I don't end up smushing it around as much, maybe. But there we go. My ring of glue is in place, as you can see, and now I'm just going to, and you can see that I've bumped it as I'm trying to put the fillet in place. That's mildly annoying, so I'm going to try to get it as flat as I can. Maybe, yeah, I'm going to push down on it with my fingers as I spin it around. Okay, now I am not going to put the other side's fillet in place right now. So this is going to be kind of a short video, unfortunately, because I'm pretty confident that if I mess with this, if I flip it upside down and try to put glue on it, I'm just going to end up, it's not going to work, is the short version. So this is just going to sit. I was careful, and I checked this out when I put the first ring on. It is possible that I could have gotten some glue seeping through, because again, the joint is not very tight, so glue could drip down, I guess, or spread down. So I was careful with this previous ring that the spacer did need to come off, that I checked it after like 20 minutes when the glue was heavily tacked but not completely in place, that I could remove it. And it didn't seem to pose a problem. It was a little sticky, but not very. So something to be aware of if you choose to do this approach with all three of the spacer rings. And again, in retrospect, I would choose to use this approach for all of them, and starting with the middle one. That one I would just tack one side at a time, just like this. Is going to take you a while, unfortunately. After a good 20 minutes, you can probably take the green ring off if you want. Now, again, this is where it permanently lives, so the instructions suggest that you just tack it in place. So I'm actually going to do that later. After this is basically set, I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue under there and just bond it in place that way. It doesn't really do anything there. It doesn't add any strength as far as I can tell, but whatever. It's a decent place for it to live. So that's kind of it for now. In half an hour or so, I will tack in the other side and go from there. Then it'll be time to reinforce all this. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at some point in the next video. See you then.